Miss Von Karma, is she alright? Von Karma got shot? Edgeworth! Due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma could not appear in court today. Very well. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Okay, I've looked the case over and am familiar with the details. Prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matthew Ongard. Yes, Edgeworth? Now then, prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Richard Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Detective. Very well. Now, let us have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Rough fights are my specialty, everyone. I'd have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. Bring it on. As he was struggling for... Interesting. Show me this answer you have finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts of the case. The murder happened around the Heroes of Heroes Award ceremony. The victim, Juan Carrito, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we found out later that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms. Gladly, Your Honor. Hold it! Please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony. Ceremony started at 6 p.m. Ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Hold it! The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? She's the defendant, Matt Allgard's manager. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered. Hold it! Cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that. Now, real pro's attention will be drawn here to the bandana. Ah! He wasn't stabbed. He was strangled to death. Bandana, Your Honor. It's a thing wrapped tightly around his neck. Yes. What about the knife? So he was stabbed in the chest after he was already dead. So basically, whoever killed him actually did it to make it look like he was actually stabbed to death. Crafty murder on our hands here. Strangled with a scarf and then stabbed with a knife. Time of death 8:15 p.m. At first we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. Hold it! Why did you think that? The German ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. Couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Thought of that too. However, the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? If only the victim's fingerprints were actually on the guitar case, what happened to the guitar itself? Right there. I'm thinking it's because of the water that was on top of the guitar case. Somebody had washed them off. I think I know who. However, we later found out the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Hold it! What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Where was it? Eventually found the TV studio. Apparently only taking the case with them. Strange. That actually doesn't make any sense. If he was the German ninja, wouldn't he have brought the guitar with him? Unless he was actually going to put something else in the case. That guitar case definitely looked big enough to actually fit other things in it. He could have put clothes in there, or pretty much any, or whatever else he had actually brought with him. Maybe he forgot to put the guitar inside the case. Strange. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel? First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matthew Longard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, detective. Please testify about this matter. Why arrest Longard? Matt Longard and Juan Carrito were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. True. As for evidence, it's the German ninja's button. And there is blood on it, as you can see. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Longard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also found all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. True. And there's this button. They were found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood? The victim's blood. All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Oh, you're not getting me this time, Edgeworth. I'll find a hole in your argument somehow. Usual pointless questions? I think not. Oh you're not getting me with that there, Edgeworth. I might have been absent for a few days, but does that mean I've actually forgotten what to do? All I needed was a little bit of rest. Hold it! In terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Juan Corrida was always one step behind Mr. On Guard in everything. This year, it seems like he finally caught up, ready to make the big final showdown. But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end. Must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Hold it! Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Ongar was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls. Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill it all. Well, detective?
Objection!
Settle down. Enough, Edgeworth, please. Hold it! Do you have any proof that the button belongs to the victim? I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Shaman Ninja's costume. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Thread. Thread snapped when the button was torn off. To match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the bottom of the button, it's a perfect match. True. Hold it! When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corrida. Then we did a search of them all. That's when we found the button. So almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hold it! How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Hold it. There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. I know it's not a pocket knife. Yes, Mia? A button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with Engarde's fingerprints. Still in a world of trouble. Yeah. Good point there. That's a good point there, Mia. I don't buy it. There's one way I could tell it's not premeditated. Because we saw similar knives inside both the victims and the suspects' rooms. That's how I could tell it was not premeditated. And also that the suspect did not buy that knife just for the murder. Defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes it premeditated murder. I don't buy it. Objection, Your Honor. Wait a second. So this basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? Did not buy this knife. Take a good look at the handle of the knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Bingo! That's exactly what I was talking about before. That was a hotel knife, and we even saw them in both the victims and the suspects' rooms. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means that this murder was not premeditated. What's so funny there, Mr. Edgeworth? What? How so? Where did this knife come from? Sorry, it did not. It came from On Guard's room. Take a look at this, everyone. The victim ate it last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, you can even see those knives. See? Right on that table. I'd like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. Right there. There's a knife and a fork on the table. If it pleases the court, I'd like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matthew Onguard. Right there. See? I told you, nothing escapes these sharp eyes. Especially what was on top of his table. There's something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matthew Onguard's knife was missing. Mr. Onguard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has... No, I don't buy it. No, no, no. And that must be one of the traps, and I just walked headlong into it. Fingerprint, a murder weapon with fingerprints, and a button from the victim's costume. It's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. Evidence not yet shown. Yes, Mia? I'm aware of that. Yes, I'm aware of that. Now, one thing I should mention. I did say I was actually going to show what actually happens if you screw up. And yes, I am still going to do that. Just not right now. I have no intention of playing a bluff. In fact, check this out. There is one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that the court has yet to see. Very well. One chance is all I'll need. There you go. Yes, it is. Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. There were all things that were at the point sitting on top of the dresser. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over, along with everything else, is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. What is your opinion, Mr. Edgeworth? No special meaning? What do you mean by that? Okay, I don't buy that. Could Miss Andrews really have set the glass down without thinking? No. No, she could not have. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. No. I don't buy it. No. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any, he's just bluffing. What? Sure about that there, Mr. Edgeworth? I think